Hello, thank you so much for joining us to Open LMS Live. Hope you're all doing well, and we're looking forward to getting started. I'd like to introduce our speakers. We have Dean Saunders, our VP of Product at Open LMS. We have Cheryl Pasovas, our Head of Customer Success, and we have Laura Martin, our Product Owner at Open LMS. Hey, welcome, guys. Fun fact, Cheryl's over in the US and Laura's over in Colombia. How cool is that? Joining us in our APAC session. So yeah, I guess we'll start the presentation off. Oh, actually, first of all, sorry, can we go next on the slide? We have a poll question in the community site. So I'd like to encourage you all to please jump on and put in your answer, and we'll get to see the kinds of results we have throughout the presentation. So that's just at community.openlms.net. All right, so I believe Cheryl will be starting us off to talk about the presentation. I'll hop out. Yeah.
Sure, thanks. Okay, if we want to move forward on the slides, we just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about what we've been up to at Open LMS. You've already met the three of us. We are your hosts for this hour, so hopefully it's helpful and interesting for you. If we keep going, you will see a little bit of an overview of what we are going to cover tonight, or today for you guys, tonight for me. We're going to meet the team. We're going to talk a bit about what we've accomplished in the last 6 months or so since we combined these three businesses into one. We're talking about where we're headed, and most specifically why we're headed in that direction and why we believe that it is the right fit for us and for our clients. We're going to talk about our open source project and how that's been advancing, updates to our training and products, new things that are coming out that you can benefit from, and then our plans for the future. So, big expectations for this presentation, but lots to talk about. We've been very busy. So if we move on to the next slide, you can start to get a sense for our team. These are actual pictures of actual team members, which I think is pretty cool. We have a truly global team at this point. There are people from Open LMS that are working 24 hours a day. So what that gives us the ability to do is to have the scale to meet your needs, regardless of the time of day or the challenge you have. We have experts that are available and ready to work your issue. Leveraging that at scale is a big challenge. It's not an easy thing to do, but we have made significant progress in our ability to do that, and our team is ready, or more ready than ever, to sort of step up and meet that challenge. If we go to the next slide, you can get a sense for what we've been up to since the beginning of this year. We've really gotten things rolling. We have hosted over 30 events. Our team has over 150 members. We have an open source project that is really starting to gain momentum. We've open sourced 15 plugins so far, and we have big expectations to do more of that as the year goes on. We've grown our client base, and we have built our community site. As part of the larger LTG entity, Open LMS also has the benefit of being able to work together with all of the other LTG companies around the world to benefit from their expertise and bring that expertise to our client base. So we've been working together with those LTG companies to increase our offerings and upskill our team to make sure that we're extremely informed not only on the LMS that we provide, but also all of the surrounding EdTech products and possibilities in the industry that we can also bring to you and to your customers. If we move to the next slide, you'll start to see where we're headed, and I will pass it over to my other presenters to take that piece for you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Well, today then I'm going to talk about a bit of where we are headed, and we're going to start with our goals. If you could move to the next slide, we have here our Talks is the name that we have given to our 4 main goals of the year as a company. We have the goal of building the best EdTech team in the world, to retain and obsess about our customer experience, to build and grow our community, and finally to simplify our business. We build those, no, go back just a second. Thank you. We build those objectives thinking about you. You were the centered on our goal. We were thinking of just building a high quality company that you actually want to work with and you actually want or love to work with. So that's our main objective for the year. And let's look into how we are going to get that. So on the next slide, as I was saying, these 4 objectives were thought, and it's all about you. We really want to be that company that understands your pain points, that addresses your problems, but also that really creates value for you and for your users. So how are we planning, or how are we achieving those bigger missions or those bigger objectives? So the first one, in the next slide, is to build the best EdTech team in the world. What does that mean? So right now, as Cheryl mentioned, we are over 150 colleagues around the world. We are a very multicultural kind of team, very talented, and just ready to help you in every step of the process. But we have specific, let's say, tasks to keep on building our team and make it even better. So the first one that we want to focus on is to keep on hiring. We want to keep on adding talent to our team and just new knowledge and new insight to better address the requirements and just to bring more opportunities and challenges to the team. We also want to upskill or keep upskilling our team. We are really committed to help every employee to be great at their job and to just grow as a professional. So in that way, they're not only growing themselves, but also bringing more to the processes, to the work, and also just creating better experiences for you, for our customers. And finally, we want to leverage on our diversity. We know at this point that we are a very multicultural team, and we want to keep on increasing that. We understand that being multicultural also means that we have more insight and we understand better different cultures, different traditions, and by doing so, just create more opportunities for the different markets and cultures. So that's a big awesome aspect of our teams. One thing that we can highlight here in particular is that Open LMS just got the AWS Education Competency Status for Security Learning Management Solutions. So that's a good highlight in this particular aspect. If we go to the next slide, we will see the second objective for our team, which is to obsess about our client experience. And how do we really want to obsess, or are we trying to obsess about this experience? First, we want to get the feedback. Get all the possible feedback from you, from our customer, from your final users, but also from our internal teams. So you might have seen some surveys that have gone around, or will be seeing some surveys just to collect that feedback, because we want to know and really understand what your pain points are, what you want from our products, and what you want from our experience. We also have the community in the community project that we have, that we will be discussing also a bit later. But this particular space is a great site just to share ideas, share feedback, and just communicate with other customers and just get an insight on their experiences. We also have these types of events, the YouTube broadcasts, that bring more customers and creates this bridge between our teams and our customers. then we really want to put our customers first. So one example here is our plugin matrix. Many of you may have know our plugin matrix in Open LMS EDU, which at this point is being redesigned and redeveloped to be more user-friendly and just easier to search for plugins and understand what plugins we are supporting. But the idea is also to integrate in within the matrix all other plugins that come from e-creators and come from eThink, just to have one knowledge in this regard. So we are working into this integration to facilitate the experience for our customers. Finally, we really want to focus on innovation and experimentation. Everything that we want to develop, we really want you to be part of it. So we are focusing on experimenting, on testing new things and getting your feedback to see if those new things that we are implementing actually resolve the problems that you have been having, or if we need to address or enhance the element to really cover those specific use cases. And finally, in this last regard, we have resources. At this point, we understand that we don't only need to give out the tools, but also the resources to help you succeed with those tools. So we are creating and focusing on creating the best types of resources and having them at hand so that you can have them and just help you in this process. The third objective is to grow our community in the next slide. Thank you. So as I was saying, our community is one big initiative that is very, very important for us, because we understand that at this point we have different types of customers. We have education customers, but we also have corporate customers. And by bringing them together, we get more insight and really get to identify more opportunities regarding each market and each region and also each culture. So we at this point are a global company with customers all around the world. And in this particular space, customers can share their experience. They can share better practices, and they can also share maybe some bad experience so that other customers don't have to repeat that. We understand that learners are for life, and that learners really just change the way or the process, but are always learning. So we want to help them, help your final users, and help you to get that connection between other customers, between the internal teams, just to get those conversations going and gather also that feedback. We want this particular space, the community, to be like a global study group where our clients will have a richer place to consume contents and, just as I said, share experiences and share ideas. And the last objective that we are focusing on is simplification. And this not only means simplification of our platform or functionality, but this also means reducing any friction and complexity that we have within our products and processes. This also means removing anything that doesn't bring real value to our clients and focusing on the ease of use, the usability, and also, as a big main point of our DNA, the accessibility of our products. We really want everyone to be able to use our products the best way possible. So we want to really create multiple and easy ways for you to connect with the team. And that also signifies simplifying our processes. An example is to have just one Zendesk, not three. And that's part also of our simplification path. And finally, it also means creating great content and better practices that we can share so that you can also benefit from those simplified processes and those easy to use processes. So those were our 4 objectives. We really wanted to share them transparently and openly with you so that you know what guides us, what's our path, and why we are taking some decisions that we want and that we really want to be customer centered. I now will give the presentation of the word to Dean to tell us about more about some initiatives that we are currently working on.
Thank you very much, Laura, and hi everybody. Thanks everybody in outside the APAC region for staying up late. First of all, it tends to flip around that, doesn't it? It's sometimes you get up early to either give or attend a webinar, or it's the other way around. It works perfectly into your slot. I'm very glad that I've had a chance to have breakfast today and join you at a great hour. So yeah, look, Laura's covered up on some great points there. Laura, who obviously looks after our educational products and a lot of our enterprise products as well, is very close to the customer and very close to the solutions we create, especially across higher education. So it's great that she's here today to share some of those expertise, and thanks for staying up, Laura, and Cheryl for that matter too, based on your geographies. So the open source project, what does it mean? Open source to us is really important. The question you might say, or ask yourselves with open source is, why would we give away software? And it's a good question. Why would you create something really, really good and then give it away to everybody for free? I guess one of the shorter answers in all of that is it allows us to make our software better. It means that we can put it into the community, let the community use the software, come back to us with an approach. Sorry, one back there, slide person. With an approach that allows us to test our software in the market, to get meaningful feedback from our audiences, and better position our software to address real world problems. So we really can address problems quickly. So if there's subtle improvements need to be made and the like, we can really jump on top of them. Next slide there, eager slide person. Thank you very much for doing this. So some of the things that we look at here, and obviously looking at an engaged community. So an engaged community, our definition of that is people who ask questions, and we encourage you to ask questions. We can send out surveys. Lots of those surveys will end up in junk piles or whichever. But we want you to be the contributors to those questions. We want you to come and ask each other questions in the community. Hey, I work for a pharmaceutical company. You work for a university. How do you do this? The real success of a community is not a one-way push model. It's getting people inside the community asking each other questions. And then certainly we can learn from those things that are most desirable to our community and implement those into our products. Obviously, we deal with two major parts of the community at Open LMS. So we deal with education and we deal with work. And certainly what we're finding is those two institutions, if you like, or those two types of organizations are gelling better and better together. So there's really things that lend themselves very, very well to the workplace, and things that gel very well to education. And the way we're looking at our products these days is how we can make that mesh a lot tighter through the use of the software that we develop. One of the big things is when we come up with ideas. I mean, I'm a big believer when you create software, it shouldn't just be something that's dumped into a spreadsheet and you sort of say, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Really, software should be something which allows you to validate ideas. So in the sense of community, we can throw ideas out there. You can download those ideas. You can play with those ideas. You can experiment. A really important part of what we do. A really good example is my nephew came up to me the other day, and I sort of said to him, he's at that stage, he's in year 11, the final or second final form of school. I gave him a look at our new product that we've been creating, and I sort of said to him, what would you change about this? And his response to me after about 2 days of looking over it and looking under the hood, saying, could I download the theme and make a few changes? And I thought, you cheeky little... Anyway, so he's been playing with that for the last couple of days, and he's actually come up with some great ideas. I can't show them yet. I'm not allowed to show them. I need to get his permission to do that, apparently. But some of the ways that he thinks about how our user interface should work, for example, on some of our products, makes good sense because he's a student. He's used to using various systems at school and the like, and he's got views on how things should be used. And this is a really important, a case in point. This is a person who normally wouldn't have the influence to be able to do anything with a product. You know, he might be able to write a nice letter to Microsoft and beg and hope that someone will pick up his answer. But being open source means we can act on those items and address real world problems about the way our software is used. So look, it's a really exciting thing that we're doing here. I think it's a generous thing for the community. I think it's a needed thing to share, share contributions, share feedback, and make things incrementally better. I mean, part of great software validation isn't necessarily going, ta-da, here's this giant big piece of new software. Quite often, the best part about software development is making things incrementally better. And that comes through experimentation in real world experiments where people are playing with your software. Next slide, please, Slide Master. Okay, so a lot of talking about open source, but what have we actually done so far? Well, it probably pays to sort of go back, a few years now. So over the last several years, we've been contributing code to the community anyway. In fact, there's 60 plus plugins out there already. One of the crowd favorites is our Snap theme. So the Snap theme is a theme built around the needs predominantly for education, but certainly many corporates use it as well, which is a nice, clean theme, which has great accessibility. It's responsive. It has all those lovely things that people want to see. And then in the last few months, we've also outsourced an additional 15 plugins, or open source, I should say, which are a variety of plugins. So they're admin plugins, they're teacher plugins. There's also a new theme, which you can sort of see a screenshot of there, which is our Learnbook theme. So it was an older theme. So previously, before Open LMS for Work, we had Learnbook. That's now evolved into something new again. But these are themes you can download and play with and modify to suit your own needs. So again, something that's not sort of, an out-of-the-box solution where here it is, this is what it is, there's nothing you can do about it type software. Obviously, open source allows you to pull things apart and play around. So the last 3 plugins that we've released have been the Course Size Report, the Bulk Block Creator, and the Restriction by Release Code plugin. So please play with these, download them, manipulate them, talk about them, ask us questions, make suggestions on how you'd like them to improve, because we can't make a successful community without your contributions, we look forward to them, we encourage them. Maybe we need like a plugin contribution competition, I don't know, but certainly we want your feedback, and everything that you contribute obviously contributes to the wider community too. So everything that you share is shared with everybody. So that I don't think can ever be a bad thing. Dramatic pause there for the next slide. All right, so product updates. So obviously a big part of what we do is create product. We create product for education. We create product for the workplace. So there's really nobody who can't use our products. They are educational products for all different tracks. So we have a variety of organizations. I mean, sometimes we'll speak with the commercial teams and the like and sort of say, who are we getting through, what types of organizations? And it could be everything from, large government enterprises through to large business through to small business. I mean, one came through the other day, which was, the Dog Walking Foundation. I know the other day, the Bird Watching Foundation came through. So, great. Everybody needs to be educated in some way. So I find it really enlightening that people can use our software like this. Part of the job of the product team is to make beautiful things, to really focus on the needs of business, to really focus on the needs of education, and to focus on those day-to-day things that allow us to create some sort of change in our lives. So certainly the product team at Open LMS is visible and is becoming more and more visible. We want to make sure that our product team is visible, it's accessible, and absolutely accountable for what we produce as well too. So again, a great way to have a voice or to give us feedback or input into our products is via the Open LMS community as well too. So please consider that, that platform, your microphone, to have a voice and to say, hey, how do I do this? Or, hey, I've got a great suggestion for X. It's where we go to look at a lot of those things that give us our good ideas. And, there's a view too that the world is no longer, linear. We're sort of looking out here. And certainly, when I mentioned incremental innovation before, I speak about pivots that we need to make in our product as well too, which are coming through our community. So COVID, for example, with all the working from home, has made us make slight modifications to our products to assist with working from home and the like too. Next slide, please. So what are we doing with our products? The first one is EDU. So EDU is our core product. So our cornerstone product. A lot of new features. So over the last sort of 6 months, we've reduced a stack of new features from Moodle Core, improved a stack of new features from our own repositories. So the things that we put on top of those products. We've made a pledge or a large commitment to accessibility design as well too. So to make sure that things that we do create with current accessibility standards and are also future thinking as well too. So we're not going to create elements of software that are great and friendly and usable today, but might break things in 6 months. So there's a lot of forward thinking that happens in that space. Again, a lot of the changes that Laura and her team are working on, the changes and the evolution of the product, come back from customer suggestions. Laura's a big one for being close to the customer, for speaking to the customer, for getting validation back from the customer. And that influences things like UI and UX design. So how does our software look on a mobile device? How does our software perform in a browser? What is the experience like for the student? Can they find the things that they need most urgently? Is that experience a pleasurable one? When I use the product, is it a pleasurable experience? And obviously, making things simple. I say it all the time. I'm going to say it again. If you've been on a couple of these webinars in the past, you've probably heard me say it before, but simplicity is really hard. So making products that are beautiful and simple to use is a really difficult task, but it's a task that we put upon ourselves to make. And that doesn't go to say that once you make something, that's it, we'll never change it again. UI and UX improvements are ongoing. So there's no such thing as, ta-da, we've created a new UI, there it is, and we walk away and concentrate on somewhere else. We've got now staff, a dedicated UX team, who work on this constantly. So expect to see more change there. Other things that have been released in the latest release of EDU is obviously centralized content management as well too, and a redesign from that. There's also a number of other things that are popping up to our roadmap, which you can access again via the community as well too. You can see in real time the things that we're working on, things that we're planning for. So please, I encourage you to do that. If you're on this call and you're not an Open LMS user, again, remember you can go to openlms.net, our mothership website, if you like, and you can get a trial. Speak to our bot on the site. The bot will be able to organize that for you. Hopefully, we'll see more bots in our products coming up soon as well. Next slide, please. Ta-da. So working together, and I touched on this before about the parallels of our products, and certainly we're seeing more interest in universities, for example, using elements of our corporate product and corporate entities using elements of our EDU product. And that makes sense. Higher education institutions are thinking more commercially, and certainly the flip side of that too, organizations or corporate organizations are looking for more verified skills that they can offer to their staff. So it's important that we get our software at the same beat, but it also has advantages to the way that we develop software. So obviously, and Laura touched on it before, we're now 150 circa staff. We've got a number of roles open all over the world. and you'll be able to see by the types of roles that we're hiring, the types of roles, the types of things that we're working on as well too. It doesn't sort of take much to put that together, but certainly making sure that with the development we have in the core product of EDU and the work product, the types of things that we're working on are running in parallel, which allows us to be a stronger development team. It allows us to be more consistent in the way that we write and develop software, therefore leading to better quality outcomes and better turnover of plugins and features and functionality. And again, remembering that all of the stuff that we create for EDU and for work is open source. Some of it, much of it isn't open source now. We are slowly releasing this stuff. So every 2 weeks is sort of our cycle where we look at the best things for us to open source back to the community become available. So please keep an eye on the community there so you can see when things do come out and you can take the best advantage of them. And remember to give us feedback. That's the deal. All right, next slide. So Open LMS for work. Many of you on this call may not be familiar with work. Work is a very new product to the Open LMS portfolio. So again, speaking about utilizing the shared code base of education and work, we've been able to use some of the things that were purely in the EDU product, such as personalized learning designer and site-wide rules. These make sense to be inside a work product. Basically, these allow you to create rules and actions based upon things that a learner might do or actions that a learner might perform inside the site. We focus on a new theme, so a nice, pretty, simple, easy to use theme. We've got other things in there, so we've got things like a course library. So when you deploy your learning management system, you've got about 40 free courses, and these are courses on current trending topics around the world. You can use them, you can not use them, but one of the things that always bothered me about deploying an LMS to an organization is it goes empty. It comes in empty, and it's like, well, come on, can't we sort of find something there? The best part about that course subscription too is it's free. And there's a new course every week. So we're producing some really cool stuff there. There's things like the mega menu. So a new way to navigate around your LMS. It has you can't probably see it too well in that image, but up in the top right-hand corner there, you can sort of see that little googly icon, which allows you to more easily and intuitively navigate your way around the system. We've got skills tracking and matching. So monitoring skills that exist inside your organization, being able to match those skills to different roles. We've got new reports, so a nice, clean, automated UI for that, and it's just a prettier look and feel. It makes sense where things are laid out. And of course, the coveted multi-tenancy that a lot of people have been working on as well too. So we're sort of working with the needs of a lot of workforces that they have today, but also looking at how we can evolve those skills, as I mentioned before, incrementally to make sure that they can keep pace with the changing needs of workplace as well too. And certainly some of those changes have been forced upon us recently. So there's a number of things that we're obviously working on both roadmaps for both EDU and for work. And that's things like an extended mobile experience. So making sure that the mobile experience adequately reflects the desktop experience that you might have. It's working on things like data and analytics. Data and analytics are a big one for a lot of organizations. So we've recently appointed a person who looks after, as a product manager, data and analytics. That's going to be that person's role to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the output of everything that happens on a learning management system. So really excited for that to get going. And then obviously constantly validating. So we're going to be pushing these new ideas out to you in the community to test. And again, we want your feedback. So if I could give you a special prize or something for feedback, again, I would. Maybe we can do some coffee thing, I don't know. But anyway, a lot of exciting things coming in the product space. Again, if you want to trial our software, please jump on, please give us feedback. So jump on to openlms.net. The community links and the like will be down further in this presentation. So look, thanks for coming along today and having listened for us. I'll hand back now to Cheryl, I think, who'll talk about training and skill building.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dean. And you know, the work that Dean's talking about is a lot of work by a large amount of our team members. So, you know, this has been a pretty heavy lift by the team to get us, you know, where we are in terms of these products. But I think we're really happy with where we ended up and what we've done so far. So, if we can make it to the next slide. We have a number of initiatives going on as well in terms of training and skill building, helping you to better, you know, your team and continue to build on your skills to use the system better. The first of those that we talk about on the next slide is the Open LMS Academy. We're really excited to sort of reintroduce this to the market in a new and sort of updated format. We expect this to be out within the next few weeks. We have a series of courses that will be available right away, covering some of the topics that are most relevant to the users at this point of time. You can see this one that we've screenshotted here is Hybrid Teaching Essentials, which is, you know, obviously a big topic right now. But there are a number of other courses coming out in the next few weeks that I think will be really helpful and well received within the community. We also have big plans for this academy. There's a lot of opportunity to you know, add value to your experience by continuing to build out the content that's available here, both to your administrators as well as to your instructors. So, you know, stay tuned, watch as we continue to build and create opportunities here for additional learning and training on topics directly and not directly related to the LMS, but that may be really relevant to you and the type of work that you're being asked to do on a daily basis. If we go over to the next slide, one of the other things that we've been working on is all sorts of resources that you can get as you're out in the community. And these are available through all sorts of different links and URLs that will be available to you, I believe, on the community site, if I'm not wrong, related to each of these items. So, you know, we've talked a lot about open sourcing, and GitHub is you know, the place to share code. So you can find a link to all of our GitHub repository information and all of the plugins and modules that we've open sourced so far. And there will be a lot more coming there. The community site itself is also a place that we're sharing information. It's another area that we have really big plans for. Come September, October, we hope to offer more content and more value there to really make that a collaborative experience and give you the ability to benefit from, you know, what other Open LMS clients are doing and how they're using the system in ways that might also suit you. We also have Free Content Friday, which is an opportunity to get some nice, you know, course content. As Dean said, you know, sometimes when you install the system, it's blank, you know, and it's nice to get some content that somebody else has created that you might be able to use and get some benefit from. So we really recommend that. As well as eLearn magazine. That is our you know, regular distribution that talks about different, you know, challenges and success stories within the e-learning community. You'll find a lot there. It's not just focused on necessarily on Open LMS. We often share, you know, stories and successes from other LTG companies and other, you know, other users out in the e-learning industry. So if you haven't subscribed to that yet, I would really encourage you to do so. You know, get it in your inbox, give it a skim, and if something catches your eye, you can read it in detail. And then last but not least, our YouTube channel where we share really exciting videos like this one, which I'm sure you'll want to watch again and again because it's so wonderful. But there's a lot of great content out there. We've been doing YouTube videos about some of the plugins that we're open sourcing, and there's a lot of good value to be had there as well. So we really encourage you to go and check out each and every one of those, or even just one or two of them that pique your interest. So with that being said, if we advance one more, I believe that we're going to move into the community for just one more poll to get a sense of where you'd like to see us headed. As both Dean and Laura have said, one of our key focuses is really driving in directions that you want and you need and that you're looking for from us. So this type of feedback is strongly considered as we continue to craft our offerings and what we take to market in the coming months. So if you can go ahead and fill that in, that'd be great. But I think then at that point, I think we're pretty ready to wrap up. And I don't know if our talented moderator is going to step back in for a final goodbye, or if we're in pretty good shape as it is. Oh, Chloe, we can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. I did the whole mute thing. Thank you for the presentation, and really interesting, exciting things around the corner at Open LMS. And if you guys could jump on, like Cheryl said, to the community, we just really love to get some responses. And as Dean also talked about, we love feedback. So please share your experiences and what you want to see at our community. And also don't be a stranger. Keep in touch. We're on our social media. You can contact us at our email, contact@openlms.net. And thank you so much for joining us. You guys want to say farewell?
Have a great day, all. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.